Hello everybody, welcome back to BSG Online number 4. We're raising money for Mind, the national-wide charity organization for mental health. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we got our boy mortimernova with Charlie Murder. Take it away. Good luck, have fun.
I will have fun, thank you. As if you don't already know, I am the mortimernova. Yes, you're welcome. With me tonight is the ever glamorous and exciting Sin Dark Fates, the current world record holder for the speedrun of Charlie Murder. Sin, thanks for being here with me.
Yep. Well, thank you for inviting me.
He's also my BFF. Forever. I don't know what the extra F stands for. Listen, here's what we're doing tonight. We're going to do a Charlie Murder run, okay? If you're not familiar with it, Ska Studios, in my opinion, their finest game. We did Salt and Sanctuary, The Dishwasher, excellent games as well. However, Charlie Murder is the bestest, and that's the one we're going to do. So, what we are going to do, since this is a new game plus sort of deal, is we're just going to head straight to the gate and we're going to get ready for that sweet countdown. Sin, can you count us out? Give it that
Yes,
3, 2, 1 for me.
Alright. I'm waiting for you to get there. Alright. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, and we are off to the Netherlands. So, the fun thing about the start of the game is you can see in the back here, it gives you a nice structure. Well, Y is to kick, X is to punch, and A is to jump. This whole area is timed out. It doesn't matter what I do here. I can just sit here and run around in a circle. Doesn't matter, because it's automatically timed. 33 seconds, then we soar up into the sky and get ready to start the Charlie murdering. There we go. So, Kelly, in her White Wolf form, was the choice for speedrunning because she's got a bunch of AoEs, she's got some really powerful direct freezing attacks. And a few weeks ago, after this run had already been submitted, well submitted, Sin figured out some new tech. And so the time on the run has been shaved down to slightly under 30 minutes. Difficult still to do, but that is where we're at right now. He has figured out a better character choice to shave that time down that we're still working out some kinks for. But it's super exciting to see when we first started the speedrunning of Charlie Murder, we were at about an hour and a half on the time frame. Now we're down to under 30 minutes, which is super cool. How did you even end up coming across that, Sin?
So basically, I was just bored during winter break, so I decided to look up speedruns for Charlie Murder. I saw your run. I checked on speedrun.com, and I just found there was already boards. So I just started running after you obviously added that save file.
If anybody is at all interested in running, we've definitely made it as user-friendly as possible on the speedrun.com boards. We've got our save files up there. There's a variety of them. All the splits are on there, so it saves you the headache of having to do it all from scratch, which I know was probably the biggest deterrent before we started posting times on there. But if you're interested, no better time than the present, because you figure we started, the game wasn't even on there. November of last year was when the first run was submitted. So once I had submitted that and it was approved and started running it, it was immediate that it started to kind of gain traction, which was really exciting to see a game that sort of disappeared after the Xbox 360, and then we were able to revive back for some speedrunning. Super exciting! Super exciting! So,
That was our first boss.
That was our first boss. As you can see, easy peasy. The next area that we're going to is going to be the graveyard, and it's the area that's got the first bit of real glitch tech. You'll see most of it, because it's a new game plus mode, most of it's going to be just sort of running straight through and not even having to deal with much of anything. But this up here is our first bit of glitch tech. Sin, would you do the honors, please?
So basically, before the cutscene starts, you have very few, like, you have a very short time, but you're able to jump before the cutscene starts, get yourself a lead, so you're just able to run through this section a bit faster. Because obviously, you obviously want to get here as fast as possible, because you don't want to get hanged.
And that is absolutely what will happen too. So being able to blow through that is a nice alternative to watching a cutscene and just standing there doing nothing. And that being said, speaking of just standing in place and doing nothing, we are going to our first auto-scrolly section of the graveyard, and that's going to be the broom. This is the Sasquatch area. So this whole area progresses automatically. I guess you could say the trick to it is you have to kill a certain amount of these witches, which will lead you to a certain amount of these ninjas, which will lead you to another transition of the scene. And that's basically, you cycle through that a handful of times while you try to take this helicopter down as fast as possible. So the speed tech for this, you'll notice, is a lot of just, you'll see the up and down, the up and down, the up and down, but then a lot of it's just the back and forth depending on where the triggers are when the scene transitions. So with the witches, you want to try and stay as close as possible because they do a whole lot of this up and down dodgery. With the ninjas, you try to stay further back so that we cover as much area as possible. And ideally, if it's all done correctly, you will have the boss of this area down before you see the castle come on screen. So that's what we're going to attempt here now. Assuming that all of our shots land and our RNG for the ninjas time out correctly, we should be on pace to make that happen. And we are doing chaos mode, so everything is a little bit tougher than we just be on normal mode. Alright, not bad. Not a bad time on that run. One of the other things that you'll see pretty commonly throughout the run is that we barely use our standard attacks. We're barely punching, barely kicking. It's in specific spots that we do it because the way that this character's been built out is with a system called Anarchy, which is in the form of tattoos in this game, but essentially it's just your special attacks. So every time you see these colors come up on the screen, that's the Anarchy system that I'm talking about. And that's what allows us to do the whirlwind, or the cyclone. That's what allows us to do the fireball, and the ice vocal attack. All that's just part of the Anarchy system. And because of the way that we've got the characters built out, she's at 101% for her Anarchy cooldown, which means that as soon as she casts, she's ready to cast again. So it's the fastest way to blow through it all with all those AoEs. And we are headed up now to our first real fight section. So we've had a couple of areas we've had to stop and do some fighting. This is the first area that we have multiple sections of fight plus the mixed in mini bosses. The trick that we have come up with as far as taking these mini bosses down quickly is using this frost attack, so that way you don't have to go through the hit sequence of having to stomp on their heads, and it's much faster this way to just use the freezing, which was another one of those tricks that Sin had figured out when we were trying to shave time off, is to not have to go through those cut sequences. Save yourself a good few seconds each one of those mini bosses. Alright. Sin, you want to talk about the section coming up here?
Yes, I will. So right now we're about to get on a hangar right now, and basically we're going to be killing hawks with a clothesline. into where this is where you have to kill a certain amount just to get up on the top of this castle to face the next boss. So Mort's just gonna, because this is RNG. These birds don't spawn in the same spot, so you just have to react accordingly. And there's some that will spit acid for whatever reason. And right now, Mort's doing a pretty good job of killing them.
Yeah, definitely the avoiding the acid is always important. It's not the health loss that we're worried about because we've got these characters maxed out. It's the time loss of recovery from getting hit by the acid. So that one actually went pretty well. Pleased with it. Pleased with it. So it's going to be a straight run here to our next boss, which is going to be our antagonist in his first form. This will not be a difficult fight. However, it will be a fight we have to progress through. Oh, he threw his wine glass.
Nice little cafeteria.
He seems mad. Going for the quick hits. Perfect. Perfect. We caught him at the end of the cyclone, which means we can just blow on through. Blow on through. So, this next area that's coming up, admittedly, is the most problematic for me. I don't know about you, Sin. I know it's absolutely the most problematic for me.
I find it easy.
It is tight platforming. Tight platforming. And it is... it's easy to fall off. So, what my offer is every time that I fall off, which now we're at 1, I will absolutely do a donation tonight. So we are at, I'm going to do $2 for every time I fall off. So we're at $2. We're at $4.
Oh my.
Sorry, this is my focus spot of the game. It's absolutely the hardest spot because she's not only running and jumping, she does a slide when she lands down. So to make sure that you account for the slide, you have to pull back slightly during the running to make sure that she lands on the platform. It's absolutely tricky. Alright, but it's going to be pretty smooth sailing from here. And there's another section that is also the tight platforming a little bit further down in the game. Alright, 2 falls. Not bad for that area, quite honestly.
Yep.
And this is going to take us through to our next auto-scrolling area. Right after we take out the scientist. Catch him from a distance, right before he gets back to you, and you'll take him out quickly every time. The next area that's coming up is going to be our first hands-off area of the game, so if there is anything that needs to be read off, by all means, now would be an excellent time.
Well, let's see. There's certainly a lot of stuff we can talk about. I guess the most important thing, or rather one people might be most interested in, is the next bid war, which is for Snow Brothers, which is a little bit down the line. It's like two hours from now or something along the lines. I don't have the schedule open right now. But there is an incentive for wearing a big sombrero. I'm not super familiar with the game, but if there's a game called Snow Brothers and you can somehow wear a big sombrero, that sounds kind of fun. Currently, we are $53 out of the goal of 75. So there's a little bit time, a few moments of time left to fill up that one. If you want to see a snow game with a big sombrero, that sounds fun. Otherwise, the next game, the next after that, is Return to Castle Cordet. There's a bid war where you can choose the progression or the difficulty of the game. There's actually 3. Either dialogue heavy, hard, or basic. So if you want to donate, check out these incentives and maybe choose one of those if you feel fancy. Back to you.
Yo, I want to see some sombrero runs. Let's make it happen. Let's make the sombrero a reality. We're coming up on a fish boss. Well, he's sort of a fish. We're gonna face his minions first. But before we face these sharks, just draw your attention to the background. The lovely mermaid women just were, and they've left. We're going over. But oh, there they are, they're back. Look at those legs. Ha-cha-cha. I know I love them. What about you, Sin?
I think they are very attractive.
Fantastic. So anyway, we gotta kill these sharks, all right? But we don't want to kill them too quickly. If you kill them too quickly, you end up having to do another shark murdering sequence, which absolutely slows the run down dramatically. So it's just a matter of trying to kill them at just the right time so that we can come face this boss at his third transition. Perfect. Perfect. And we're moving off. We're off the boat. We off the boat now? Well, almost. Look, there's another one of those mermaids in the background. Oh my. The fish top with the lady legs. Huh? Alright, this is going to be some pretty smooth running platforming here for a little bit. We're going to come up on our second major time save of the game here. And that is going to be this fun little trick right there. With the right relics equipped, you don't actually have to go all the way around through the level, through that platforming section. You can just jump right from there and save yourself heaps of time. So that jump is a fun one. And we're going to freeze these mini bosses here so we can progress to the next section. Very good. Very good. So, Sin, tell us about what's going on here.
So we're going to be trying to get a key for this bulldozer, but to get that key, we're going to have to throw a baby. And now try to dodge bottles and like glasses, just so, because every time you eat one, you will lose a second. So he's obviously going to try to avoid them, as to where we have to do 3 cycles for the bottle with the key to spawn in. Up to you.
Yeah, the fun part about this too is sometimes the positioning of the key bottle, since this is all RNG, sometimes the positioning of the key bottle is not in an ideal location and almost impossible to get to in enough time. Like that one almost was, literally as I described it. Had I not juggled up just a little bit, I would have absolutely fallen right behind it because it speeds up as it's going further back. So super easy to miss. But we did it. Just like the pro gamer that we are. And she's going to go ahead and finish destroying this playground so that way we can go in and destroy these monsters. Because now that it's heck on Earth here, we have to take down ninjas and pirates and demons and monsters. Because, I mean, the story behind the game is that Charlie got famous. He left someone behind. And out of that spite, all of this is taking place. This is an angry bandmate causing all of this. Oh, and Sin has just notified me that his Wi-Fi has gone out, so I believe it's just you and me now. It's just us.
At least for the moment, that is correct. Yeah.
Alright, we got a boss up here. We're going to quickly try to freeze him so we can get into the next area, which is in homage to Saw. So we're getting there now. We're getting there now. Shortly, almost. And we're still on a great pace. This run's going really well. No complaints at the moment. Okay, in this area, you've got mandatory slowdowns, like you see right there. That prevents you from doing just about everything, whether it's jumping or running. However, it does not prevent you from rolling. And rolling is the fastest way to get through there. You end up saving a good second or two by the progression of rolling for each one of these sections here. So, that's why we do that. And we've got a fight coming up here with these giant rats. Okay, perfect. And the next bit that we're dealing with here is one of the trigger areas. There are specific points that you want to try and hit when you use these AoE attacks, because as you can see, the enemies in this section are indeed invisible. So the idea is to try and catch them at these really specific points where they still somewhat randomly will fall. Like that. And try to catch them while they are still in the invisible state and be able to move on as quickly as possible here. Alright, we got a couple of skip saves coming up here, just jumping over these platforms. And again, the reason that we can do some of these long jumps like this is because of the relic and the loadout for the character. Otherwise, these would not be normal progressive jumps. Alright, now we're going to play Guitar Hero with a knife. We've got a rhythm section right here that's fairly quick. If done correctly, otherwise it can just last forever. So we're going to stab this guy's hairline and try to line this up as it speeds up here. And again, like most of the other RNG in this game, it's absolutely random where the placement's going to be, which of the keys you're going to get. So there's a certain amount of RNG to the game, but then at the same time, there's not. You do have a fairly linear platforming experience, but there's mixed in RNG through those sections. Speaking of linear platforming, we're going to be doing just a whole lot of straight line running through most of this mall. There's very few spots that we're going to have to stop at to actually fight. So we're just going to keep on running, break down some doors, jump over some spikes, and that's going to be this for a good couple of scenes. Don't mind the children eating a dead body. That is just like what happens in most malls. Alright, so coming up here is going to be our next major fighting section right here. This is another one of those areas that can totally slow you down based on what enemies appear. It seems that the further the difficulties go, when you're playing on the Chaos or the Total Anarchy mode, you end up randomly having more of a chance for some of the stronger mini-bosses. This one so far doesn't appear to be that way, but we are only on the first wave of it. This was another one of those sections that we were able to figure out a way to shave a bunch of time on. We used to have to use the saws until we started doing the AoE. So that shaved, I don't know, a good 3 to 4 minutes off the section by not having to deal with all those enemies, because the the AoEs weren't recharging fast enough. This area is going to be another one of the auto-scrolling sections, so if you have anything that needs to be read off, another excellent time.
Perfect. Let me start out with a little joke. So, what do bananas say when they answer the phone?
I don't know.
Yellow?
Is it too late to quit?
What?
I'm done. That's it. I'm done. Banana jokes? Unacceptable.
Yeah. If you might wonder why I came up with banana jokes, don't worry about it. There's no obvious reason whatsoever.
Alright, reasonable.
And if you, in chat, might also want to donate some money to get us in for some banana jokes, you can do that too. It would be maybe or maybe not appreciated. And if you're thinking about donating, maybe you want to know what you're actually donating towards. You are donating, if you choose so, you're donating towards Mind, which is the nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental issues themselves or within their families. And all of your donations, 100% of all of it, will go directly towards Mind. So it's a great cause, as I know a lot of people who suffer from some mental health issues and problems. So it's definitely a good cause. And yeah, banana jokes are kind of funny. So yeah.
I'll allow it. Alright. So, here's a skip. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautifully executed. That skip, normally, when you don't have the right relic loadout, you have to actually move the platform. We don't have to, as we have this perfect relic build, which will allow you to just jump clean over it, smooth and beautiful. Easy and breezy. Alright, so, we have another boss right here. You'll recognize him from the truck from earlier. He's now, grossly infected. So we're going to freeze the demons out of him. And that should do it. And we're moving right along. We're at a great pace. Everything's looking fantastic. And we're gonna go now to the next mall. Because what's a game called Charlie Murder without multiple malls? You gotta get to your hot topics somehow. So into the mall we go. And you'll notice too, there are these grenade boxes that we just passed, but we're not using them. And the reason for that is, once again, there's another relic that we're using. One that allows you to just destroy anything in your path, as long as you're holding something. Whether it's a sledgehammer, or one of the guns, or whatever. You can use anything to attack. So, these little guys are the bane of this mall. Ultimately, you want them to not pop up, obviously, because you don't want to fight them. RNG. We have no control. Sometimes we'll get all of them, sometimes we'll get one of them. Some of them are more obnoxious than others, and out of the, I don't know, 100 times that I've run this game, only once have I ever not gotten all of them. So you're usually likely to get at least one through your run, and so far it looks like we've gotten 2 of them. Not 2 of the terrible ones, the worst one's coming up. The one that we absolutely don't ever want to see, because he slows your path to the platform. And of course we're going to get him. Naturally. So this guy's going to cost us a little bit of time. Unfortunate. There's nothing we can do about that. And another one of these jumping sections that we're able to skip through. You should not be able to do this that we just did there, but because of the relic loadout that's being used. Essentially, and I know I keep referencing that relic loadout, what it is throughout the game, you find these random relics that drop from enemies. It's a very low percentage of the time that these things drop. And they increase certain attributes. So some of them might increase the amount of energy you have. Some of them may increase the amount of damage you do. There's a handful of them that increase the height that you jump and the speed that you run. When all of those are equipped, you are absolutely able to jump over a lot of the sections that you normally have to actually run through. And before finding that perfect combination, I mean, that's how we started at an hour and a half on these runs and got it down to under 30 minutes. It's gonna be another just bit of running through. There's not gonna be any mandatory fight sections here for a little bit, as we make our way towards the last area of the game. Alright. So once we run through here, we're going to be doing another auto-scrolling section similar to the Witches and Ninjas area on the broom, where, you know, as would be assumed, you get on a rocket-powered broom and you shoot a rifle at a helicopter. The huge! The huge! So we're going to take down this helicopter while it is off-screen. The more time you give it to come on screen, the more likely you are to get shot out of the sky by a rocket. And even on this difficulty, it doesn't take much to shoot you down and force you to redo this section. So, you try to catch them while they're off screen, which is what the up and down of the scrolling is, that we try to accomplish through the beginning part of that. Just when you start seeing the tail of the helicopter come on screen. Get it as fast as possible. Alright, we are in the second to last area. This is going to be just a straight run through the Live Devil amusement park here. This is where the bad ending of the game would be taking place. So if you didn't collect all the relics previously to allow you to get through to the final area, you would end up killing this guy right here and never make it through these fiery gates to a little place that PG Mort likes to call HE double hockey sticks. Oh yeah, the big heck. This area is the last bit of platforming that is going to take us to the boss. There are a lot of mandatory fight sections in here, more than you see in any other part of the game. And again, even on this difficulty, it is totally possible to absolutely die. So, I will be, I'll be careful. Listen. Don't worry for me, okay? I'm a professional, alright? I do this for a hobby, or a living. I'll be okay. We're just gonna run it as cleanly as possible when we get to that last boss, and then we will have found all of the success. Here we go, we got another mandatory fight section coming up right here. I'm going to be varying some of the moves because you want to try and keep some of the more obnoxious enemies further back as you get grabbed. These little fellas right there will absolutely poison you and knock you down, so we don't want to get hit with those. And our next bit of action-based fighting. After this, there will be one more section, and then you'll face the final boss. The final boss is a bit tricky on this difficulty mode because he does have multiple stages of fighting. So you'll see a little bit of running around. There's a methodology that shaves off as much time as possible for the Chaos and Total Anarchy difficulty, and we're going to go about that, and I will explain as we do it. Alright, here we come. Here we come. And there's our Angel of Chaos. Looking sharp. So the first bit of fighting that we want to do is just break him into his first form. So I'm going to use the Cyclone, which is not necessarily ideal right here for damage, but it does get you far enough damage-wise to get him to break into his next sequence, which is where he goes through his transformation, so we can spam these fireballs, which gives us a perfect opportunity to try and freeze him, and then run to the end as fast as possible. He's already still taking damage because of the way we did it, and we're going to get ready for our countdown in 3, 2, 1. That's time. Oh, that's time right there. Big, bad, and beautiful. Hands off. See? I am playing. That's time. Listen. You had a great run. A great run. Is there anything else that needs to be read off, good sir?
I mean, I didn't expect to talk right now. I expected some kind of like, some final words, some shout-outs or anything along those lines.
Well, as a final thought, just remember that this run, all the other runs that you're seeing, all your donations, it's all to benefit Mind. If you go to the BSG Marathon website, you'll find out more about Mind, which is an excellent cause. And like you said earlier, 100% of the donations are going to go to supporting that, y'all. Donate it up. Do it to it. So I want to appreciate Sin being here with me. It's a shame his internet died when it did. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Likewise, if you want to come and hang out with Old Mort, twitch.tv/mortimernova. Every night, 10 Eastern. I'm there. You could be there too. Huh? Stopwatch. Alarm clock. Calendars. Sundials. Set it. Come see me. Those are my final thoughts.
Yeah, guys, you totally should. Head over there. Click follow button right now. But anyway, hey, Mortimer, thank you very much for this very interesting run. I did not know this game existed. I was aware of Salt and Sanctuary, but I didn't know this game existed. It looks very fun indeed. But, friends, BSG Online 4 is not over yet. We have still a lot, like a great many runs in store. Coming up next, we got Inside by your everyday speedrunner. Will be heading into a quick intermission, and when we're back, we're gonna see the game that I just mentioned 5 seconds ago. So stay tuned, and we will be right back.